So absurdity fans, I'll be gentle up until now, okay, believe it or not. This morning, one of the science pages, a guy, I'd never met him before, right? The usual story. So he's read all of my stuff on the science page. I was questioning the speed of light. In the first 7 words, he wrote a paragraph, he threw in dumb and uneducated for me, okay? Because I was questioning the speed of light. So I didn't retaliate. I said, I'm not going to call you that. Don't know you to start with, right? So we went back and forth, and then I said, so what's your opinion on the 4.6 seconds it takes for the sun to radiate light the distance of its diameter? And he goes, well, we weren't talking about opinions. Excuse me? Didn't have an opinion. So he was all over mine with dumb and uneducated in the first 7 words. So he didn't have an opinion after all that. Meaning he hasn't got a clue what the subject matter is, right? So, force my hand. I've been gentle. Listen, if you guys cannot understand this working out to scale with a 3mm bulb as the sun and distances to the planets and how long it will take that sun to radiate that distance, that's not my problem. This proves that the light from the sun is absolute. It absolutely buries 299,792 kilometers per second. They can keep it off of social media if they want. I don't think they can, because this is it now, right? Thanks to you, matey, who hasn't got an opinion, but he's quick to comment. It's the perfect time of day to do it. Pluto, 5.2 billion kilometers away from the sun. Alexa, how far away is Pluto from the sun?
Today, Pluto is 5.255 billion kilometers away from the sun.
5.2. We're going to divide that 5.2 billion, we're going to go straight for the jugular, right? By the speed of light. Alexa, what's 5.2 billion divided by 299,792?
This might answer your question. 5.2 billion divided by 299,792 is approximately 17,345.3594.
All right. Now we divide our sun by the speed of light, we get 4.6, right? If we divide 150 million kilometers by 299,792, we should get 500 seconds. That's 8 minutes and 20 seconds it takes to get for the sun to get to Earth. We have just divided the distance from the sun to Pluto by the speed of light, and we have 17,345 seconds. That's no good to us. Alexa, what's 17,345 divided by 60? This will give us minutes.
17,345 divided by 60 is approximately 289.0833.
We can do better than that, can't we, folks? Alexa, what's 289 divided by 60?
289 divided by 60 is approximately 4.8167.
Alexa, how long does it take for sunlight to reach Pluto from the sun?
Here is what I found. From physicsforums.com, Pluto is an average of 3.6 billion miles from the sun, which means it takes light about 520 to get there.
All right, so 520 depends where it is in its orbit. Today, we've got 4.8. It's going to take 4.8 hours, nearly 5 hours, for the sunlight to reach Pluto. 8:20 to reach Earth, and that 45 minutes to reach Jupiter. 4.8 hours to reach Pluto. An absurdity. Yes, it is an absurdity. All right? Right. Now what we're going to do we've got 5.2 billion kilometers. So now we're going to divide it by the sun's diameter. Alexa, what's 5,200,000,000 divided by 1,390,000?
5.2 billion divided by 1.39 million is approximately 3,741.0072.
We have, in between Pluto and the sun, there are 3,741 sun diameters. We've got 108 between us and the sun. Between Pluto, the furthest planet away from us, there's 3,741 sun diameters. 3 millimeter bulb. Alexa, what's 3,741 multiplied by 3 millimeters?
I'm not quite sure how to help
I
you with
don't
that.
blame you, I'll do that again. Alexa, what's 3,741 multiplied by 3 millimeters?
Sorry, I didn't get that. 3,741 times what?
3 millimeters.
3,741 times 3 millimeters is 11.223 meters.
11.2 meters. There's Pluto. Okay, this is Pluto. So I'm going to put you right up against Pluto, okay? You're basically right up against it. About, I don't know, a foot and a bit away, okay? Now, what can we see down there? Side of the house. Okay, so I've marked out 11.2 kilometers. 11.2 meters, which is the equivalent of 5.2 billion kilometers, with a perfectly to scale sun. Now, science folk, I suggest you ask your teachers if you can't work this out, right? Because it would be a tragedy if you don't understand something so basic that proves the speed of light from the sun is absolute. It does not travel at 299,792. Ask your astrophysicists. No hypothetical particles involved. First stop, 11.2 meters. That's 5.2 billion. .8 hours from here. Let's go again. .6 hours, 10.4 billion. Three times. Four. I don't know what they teach you in science class, folks, right? But then you should pay attention to this, right? This is a 3 millimeter bulb. Of course it doesn't take 4.8 hours or 9.6 or 18, 19.2 hours from that last place I was at, right? That's 5.2 times 4 is 20.8 billion kilometers away, right? That's how far away I was to scale. This bulb should have taken 4.8 plus 4.8 is 9.6 times 2, 19.2 hours. But it didn't, did it? So where do we find a bulb that radiates its light this slowly? This is the question, right? Everybody's going, yeah, but it's a bulb. I know, I understand that. Too fast. Where do we find one that radiates its light? 4.6 seconds every diameter, because that's what that is. So where do we find a bulb? Where do we find a bulb that takes 4.6 seconds to radiate light the distance of its diameter? We got it down here to scale. We need a bulb. We need to find a bulb that does that, so we can prove. So we can prove the speed of light. There isn't a bulb. There is nothing, is there? Nothing takes this long to radiate light, but the sun does. Right? The sun does. Listen, guys, it's not my fault you weren't taught properly, right? They cannot censor correct information. This is correct information. Where do we find a bulb that takes 4.6 seconds to radiate light the distance of its diameter? Because until then, right, how can we believe that the sun takes 4.6 seconds to radiate light the distance of its diameter? How? See, it's really easy when it's up there. It's easy. They talk about you and Auntie Nellie traveling at the speed of light. But when we're talking about stuff that we can see, stuff that we can prove, everybody's gone able. Everybody's talking about hypothetical particles. Folks, this proves it. Whether you like it or not, right? PhD folk, tell me that I'm wrong. Higher education folk, Bachelor of the Arts, all of the qualifications, where are you? I'm sure there's some of you that have seen my content. Why is not one of you ever piped up? Somebody tell me that I'm wrong. Tell me that I'm working this out wrong. Tell me that my numbers are wrong. Tell me that my distances are wrong. Tell me that the time taken is wrong. I'll be here waiting. Okay? That's to you, matey, with no opinion. Dumb and uneducated. Me? Later, peeps.